morning, Sunday afternoon, and I am going live. Going to do a little hobby painting, building, talking a little smack, whatever ends up happening. Let's change the name of this. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of this. There's a new picture that I really like. I need to put on. There we are. I love this. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Beautimus. Yeah, the big white fierce looking dog is actually a character of my Pomeranian. Coochie, long time no see, homie. How you been? So in that picture, that was of course made by my homie, Cold Iron Skillet. And so it's me basically as the warrior, and I've got the big dog beside me. And if you look close, you can see that it's my Pomeranian. He just made it big and fearsome looking, which is really cool. Cleaning my desk off the other night when I was getting ready for the game, and the game went very well. There was a technical issue with my brother, but the internet in Appalachia is not always great. That's something I learned when I was up there recently. Um, Coochie, how you been, man? Everything good? I hope everything's good. Right now, I'm organizing some sprues. I've got some stuff that my wife bought me for Christmas that I need to put together. And the thing is, it's stuff that could be very useful too. Like, I've got all these sprues of like werewolves, and then I've got these sprues of I think these are War Games Atlantic miniatures. She buys me War Games Atlantic a lot of the time. Oh, on the disc. You know what? I need to get off my lazy ass. I've gotten so much painted, and I posted none of it. And it's like it's my Discord. I should definitely be on there posting all the pictures of like all the I mean, I've got like a crayfish painted, some giant spiders, a ton of barbarians. I've got some Romans and some Greeks. Just typical stuff. But yeah, these are satyrs. Now in Hyperborea, they will work as men of Ling. And then some of the heads that come in the satyr pack are actually like a horse, a donkey. Uh, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. So you've got four heads that are definitely satyrs, and four heads that I don't know what they are. And they're armed very Greek style with hoplons and well, there's some Celtic shields there too. That's definitely a Celtic shield. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been delving very heavy into Hyperborea. As a matter of fact, Jeff Talanian actually stopped by to say hello one day, which was kind of, I was like, holy shit. And that's what we've been playing. I was having such a hard time finding giant crabs for my game that I actually went to Hobby Lobby and just bought some of these bastards and threw them on on bases. I mean, Not the cheapest thing ever, because I think these things from Hobby Lobby were still like $10 a piece or something, but I needed crabs. You know why? I don't know, because Hyperborea has an obsession with crabs. And that makes sense, since I think Clark Ashton Smith even have a story about a crab god or something. So, you know. And I had special, now these are not painted, so don't judge me, but I had specially made and 3D printed blimmies. Which a blimmy is one of those guys you see in mythology where their face is actually on their chest and they don't have a head. So, yeah, I contacted a really nice person who had an STL of a blimmy, but it was like an 8-inch tall blimmy statue. And I was like, can you make that like an inch and a quarter tall? And they apparently they had to do the whole whatever, but she did it for me. And then since I had some 3D printed turges, I guess is what they're called, the Roman, skirts. I've been putting skirts and belts on them, giving them weapons and stuff because they came unarmed. So I've been, slapping weapons on them and getting them ready to go. See, this is one of them I'm really happy with. What I did is not only did I put the Roman style turgid on, but I had these very small shields like bucklers, and I put the shield on like a belt, Or you could even think of it as like the Arabic, what did they call it? Like the 4-paneled mirror or something like that armor. Squirrel, squirrel. It's a squirrel. I have tons of these Imperial flagellants. And I am going to end up piecing them out, using their arms for different weapons and stuff. So they actually, if you have like an arm with a staff or something, they make really cool like chaos cultists and wizards, So if you have like Imperial flagellants, but you have extra like dagger arms and stuff, yeah, they make really good. The other thing is they come with like a bunch of skulls and stuff just on the thing. And I can always take those skulls off and glue them to my blimmies waists to make the blimmies look like they've got some trophies, Maybe these blimmies are headhunters or something. I don't know. Somebody's rocking their bass out and it's actually rattling inside of my house. It's like, damn, dude. Easy. But yeah. Stick these up here. Stick my wife. She is pretty amazing. A couple times a year, she hits up War Games Atlantic's webpage, and I end up with miniatures that I've never asked for, but I don't, it's like whatever, Like I'll open up a pack and it'll be like, congratulations, a unit of halflings. Okay. I love you, baby. You are the best. These are Cavalry. They're Byzantine, kind of heavy cavalry, except they're different than cataphracts. We got Persians. I always love these. These guys. Of course, the Persians I can always fight against my Greek armies. But so that's the thing. I might actually build some stuff today too. Byzantine auxilia troops. So this would be just your random Byzantine soldiers, all armed with spears and or bows or slings. These guys will probably all be armed with spears. But I like these guys because they don't have that pond at the bottom of them. You know what I mean? So many feet
Hey,
that, hey, what?
I got my new headset in.
Oh, good. So many figures have kind of that pond, I guess you call it, or that island or whatever that they're standing on. And I really prefer figures where you glue the feet directly to the base, not the little. See, like these guys all have it. You can see at the bottom of the body how they've got
Yeah.
that little thing there. I'm not a fan.
No, if their model's meant to be put on a base, it seems a little not useful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure it has something to do with the plastic injection molding, though.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, it's just a waste of material, and it's like, why would you waste the material? So I got that. So the players went into Koto's well last night. For those of you who don't know, that is a block within the city of Flan, also known as the city from the old SSI game, Full of Radiance.
Pull the Radiance. That was one of my favorite modules to run through.
And while they were in there, they got attacked by around 60 orcs, including in the second floor of the big tavern in Koto as well. The orcs had a ballista set up to fire out the second floor window. So it was pretty rough. Hungar's cleric got knocked from up to -7 in one attack. Yeah. Uh, there was some good mass damage done, though. The witch in the group kept casting her. I think it's called the Black Skull. It's basically a fireball, but you throw a skull and it explodes. And she managed to take out quite a few orcs that way. And then the warlock in the group was he worked his freaking las gun pretty hard. Now he don't know since he fired it 8 times last time, and he's already fired it a couple times more. That he's got like 6 shots left, and then it's empty. But he don't know that because he don't even know what the damn thing is. All he knows is, you point it and shoot it. So yeah, eventually he's going to spin a turn squeezing that trigger, and nothing's going to happen. He's going to be like, "Oh, dog water." So yeah. So let me find some turges to put some freaking crotch coverings on these blimmies. Can't have these guys running around with nothing underneath there like that. I think these guys are going to paint up really well too. When I finally get them, modeled up to where they're ready to be painted, I think these guys are going to be fantabulous. Yeah. And Hungar was very happy. He killed the orc chief and immediately snatched up both of the orc chief's weapons because the orc chief was dual wielding. And he's like, "These are mine." And everybody's like, "Fine, dude, calm down." And then when he had them checked out, it turned out that one of the weapons was the flail was magical. What's up, Big James? Oh yeah, the game went really well. Everybody had a good time. They almost died. Honestly, it was almost a TPK. I mean, there was some silly shit going on. Like the orcs kind of knew they were coming, and if Tim can attest, if you know anything about the way Flan is set up, there's basically two gates between each district. So when they come through, oh, they were hiding behind the building, and the assassin turned invisible and went through. But there were orc scouts patrolling, and I was letting the orc scouts see if they could detect the invisible assassin through nose. You see what I mean? Scent. And they weren't rolling good, but they were. And I kept telling her they're smelling around. They know something's up, right? And she's like, "Can orcs do that?" And of course, the other player had my back. He's like, "Yes." He plays a scout, and he's like, "Yes, that's what they do. They track." So that made things away. But then the Celtic scout climbs on a roof, and he's just standing on the roof looking at him. And the orcs in the second floor of the tavern unleash on him with like heavy crossbows, like a bunch of heavy crossbows and a ballista. The
Oh
ballista,
boy.
thank God, missed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because if that hit him, he'd have been slung half a block back and just dead, pinned to a wall. But he did catch a
Yeah.
couple of crossbow bolts that put him down to like single digit hit points.
Oh
So
boy.
on his next turn, he's like, I slide off the roof. He went and hit again. But at that point, then the orcs knew they were there, and they started coming out of all the. You know how the precinct is surrounded by buildings, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the well and the big
Yep.
tavern and a couple of side buildings. Well, the orcs had been hiding out. They
Now I think
turned
about
those
it,
buildings into barracks.
I think the tavern's the one I owned.
Yeah, they had turned a lot of those outbuildings into taverns, and then the main force of them was in the. Um,
Yeah, but in Kudos Well, there was an actual tavern, wasn't there? And I think
yeah,
that was
yeah,
the
there's an
tavern.
actual tavern, and the orcs had turned it into
Yeah,
their main base.
that tavern's the one I actually bought and used.
Well, since they wiped the orcs out so good, the city master's talking about maybe increasing patrols through because the slums are wiped out too, except for the hidden tavern where the thieves guild is. Um, so they might have cleared it out to Kudos well. However, the scout in the group, because he is a scout, he did find the cave under the well. So I've decided that in the water in that cave under the well where the hidden treasure is, there's a giant crawfish. So when they go down there, they'll be like, crawdaddy, which,
Yep, yep. The Inn
whatever.
and a hotel that's right by the gate. Yep.
Yeah. So, I
Because
mean,
my cousin owns the other building right by the inn, like up to it.
yeah, there's a building right by the end, too. The orcs have been using that as barracks as well.
Odd shaped one
Uh,
too. It's like a weird hourglassy shaped
yeah.
building.
See, that's something I never even thought about, but now I'm thinking about it is the whole, the players could actually, like, I thought about this. What if the players go out to Thorn Island, right? And they clear off Sokol Keep, and then
Yeah,
they decide they're just going to keep it.
they could.
I mean, like, yeah, this keep here, I think we'll just keep it. It's just going to be our keep now. I
Wish I
mean,
could rotate this now, but well,
the town does not really have enough guards
to
to get
patrol
into a
everything.
war with a mob of player characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like they might be like, "Screw you guys, you can't have it," but
What are they
You
going to do?
couldn't take it. So it's like, if you can't take it, then you get no say in anything, I guess. That's just
Yep.
the way these fantasy worlds work. You can either take it or not, and they cannot. So yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. My brother-in-law, he was really happy. He was playing his uh, Spartan warlock, and he actually, most games he does just okay. This game, he was like topping the charts for just kill ratio. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Iron Man, what's up, brother? Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of odd when you got a group with like all these different kind of characters to have just the generic. Well, he's a fighter mage actually, but yeah, he was topping the charts, man. He was just killing shit all over the place. I mean, you figure most of the orcs, there's around 60 of them. So around 50 of them were just orcs with various weapons. And then of the final 10, there were like, sub leaders all the way up to leaders. There was a shaman that
Some
had
actual
animate
threats.
dead. Uh, you know, there were,
Yep.
all this stuff. And really, the reason there were 5 orcs on boars, even.
Yeah.
And
I,
what finished them off is the berserker in the group, my wife's character. She has a cloak of the cave bear or some shit like that for 1 minute, 10 rounds. So, yeah, for 1 minute, one time per day, she transforms into a cave bear. So when the orcs on the pigs come running across the plaza, wanting to get all whatever, she turned into a giant bear and charged them back. And while
that
she's in
doesn't
the
sound
form of
surprising.
the cave bear, it's like a polymorph spell. So she has all the abilities of a cave bear.
Hmm.
So, claw, bite, massive damage bonus.
Hey, James, I sent you the map of Kudos Well.
Did you? Thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the map that we used in our game.
yeah, I've got the one that I downloaded online. There's so many great maps of the City of Flame. There really are. And the players have the one black and white one that kind of shows you where stuff is, but
This was
not
hand
really.
drawn.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Maybe, kind of. I think
Yeah,
so.
it's like black and white, and it kind of shows you where things are, but not really. So
Yeah,
you're like,
the one I sent you was like the old hand drawn one,
oh, nice.
just digitized and on a computer.
Yeah, I've got the. I've got the adventure, obviously. So
Yeah.
yeah, when the players encountered the thieves in the slums in that hidden tavern, um, the assassin decided to do the talking, and she rolled a 12 on the reaction table, which means that's as high as you can go. So the thieves slash assassins were immediately like kind of taken with her as far as friendly.
Hmm.
So um, I think a 12, if I were to read the thing, means they would even fight for her if she asked. Like, that's as good as you get. That's like you meet somebody and they instantly are like, we're best friends and I love you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, in the end, out of 60 orcs that they fought, 5 escaped. They broke their morale. The orcs went to run away. And It didn't work because there was a bear rampaging all over the place. So, as you would expect, the bear, was running orcs down and eating them, and that was basically that. I mean, and then they went up into the hotel where the chief's room was, the tavern, and they found he had a couple of Pictish women chained to the bed. They let them go, and they found his treasure and carried it down, you know.
Mm.
And like I said, Hungar was happy because one of the orc chiefs, well, the orc commander, he was like a 5 hit die creature. One of his weapons was a magical footman's flail. So he can use it. So he was like, this is mine. He didn't even like give anybody a chance to argue about it. He's like, this is mine. And everybody's like, damn, okay, fine. Have it, Because I don't know if you were on the other day when he was on bitching about not having any magic items.
Yeah. Iron Man's asking you a question.
Do you limit low level random encounters if your players are high level? No, I don't. I have this when I make random encounter charts, I do them like in B2, keep on the borderland. So I have 3 actual charts, and the middle chart is monsters that are the equivalent level of the average of the group, because in Hyperborea, like AD&D, characters level different speeds, right? And then this one over here will be monsters 1 or 2 levels lower than the group. And then that third chart, that's going to be monsters 1 or 2 levels higher than the group. So when you do get a wandering encounter, you roll a die 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to see what you get. And then, I don't worry about trying to make wandering monsters balanced, because the point of a wandering monster is that it shouldn't be balanced. It's a monster that wandered in. Now, you want to hear some bullshit? One of my players has this magical freaking weapon that on a nat 20, whoever gets hit by it has to make a saving throw or literally get drugged straight to hell.
Yeah.
So we're talking on a nat 20 save or die weapon, right? They rolled a random monster. It's interesting that you brought that up. Manticore. So the Manticore drops out of the sky, flings a whole wave of iron spikes at everybody. Initiatives are rolled. She runs up, like right off the bat, just runs up and chucks a dagger, hits it for freaking 20, and it dies. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, she's got a death weapon there.
Oh, no, sir. I would still throw orcs in. I'd just throw more in. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I'm saying on average. That's an on average. But if it were an 8th level party, having them run into like, I don't know, 20 or 30 orcs, especially if the orcs have a couple of classed individuals leading them, could be a pretty good encounter, depending on where they are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're wandering near the city of Orcrist in Hyperborea, it don't matter what level you are, you will be running into orcs. You can just count on that shit. Because I mean, it's a huge city full of orcs, so that's just how it is. But yeah, no, monsters never really level out in my game, because I feel like that makes the game too much like a video game,
Yeah.
Like when the player says a certain level, they're like, okay, now we'll never have to fight that again, because, and it's like, oh, no. As a matter of fact, guys,
Also, areas shouldn't be zoned out for levels
or
either.
not, but I will give monsters classes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's from having ran 3rd edition as much as I did. Yeah.
James,
don't count on that orc not being a level 4 fighter, because he could be.
On a tabletop RPG, I kind of don't get why you'd want the like areas to be zoned out for like levels. You could find anything in the wild.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. When you're in the wild or in a deep dungeon, you don't know what's in there. There could be damn near anything in there.
Ah,
That's what makes it exciting. Like one time, and I talk about this quite a bit because this is what I did. My players were wandering through the forest, the Dimwood forest in my homebrew campaign. And luckily, the ranger heard something coming, so they all hid behind trees. And while they were hid behind the trees, a hill giant come walking along the way, and it had a bear slung over its shoulder that it had apparently just killed and was going to take back and eat. The players now, they could have decided to be idiots and engage that hill giant. They would have died.
yeah,
They were like level 2.
yeah, they
Maybe
would have
even
died.
some of them level 1, maybe some of them level 3. I don't know. But that hill giant would have easily killed their asses. So people might ask me, well, then why put the hill giant in there? Because it reinforced to the party and the players specifically that they're living in a real world. It is a real world. You are in the Dimwood Forest, which is full of monsters, and you're literally in the foothills of the giant Tooth Mountains, which are full of giants. So why would you expect, just because you're level 2, to wander into this area and never see a giant? Of course, I was nice and I gave them the opportunity to hide. And the giant wasn't really looking for him anyway, so I didn't even let him roll for a check. I just had him wander by. So that was more of a me kind of letting them know that there is some shit in here that can get you.
I could get that, but for me, I guess if I was to do that, I'd probably roll to see if it had something or not, and then
No, I mean,
there
I
might be a
didn't roll
chance. Like,
for the giant to even detect them
yeah, I know, but that's
because
just
it
it.
wasn't looking for them. It was doing its
Exactly.
own shit.
Like I said, that's what I was saying. I would roll to see if it's already had something. If it did, then it's not going to check for anything.
And it already did. Remember, I told you it had a dead bear slung over its shoulder.
Yeah.
So it had already went out hunting, killed a bear, and was bringing that bear home. Now, they did find a coven of witches at one point, a coven. Kinda. I would say that, Arn Man. Even though, I mean, you're asking me these questions, and I'm like, and I appreciate them, but I know for a fact you probably been DMing as long as I have. But yeah, so in the example I gave where they're moving through an area and there's like 50 freaking orcs camping ahead or doing something ahead, obviously the players, especially if they've got a scout or a ranger or whatever with them,
Could just
are probably going to know that, hey, there is a shit ton of orcs up here. Do we want to engage an army of orcs, or maybe we will, just scoot on by? And,
fireball.
well, fireballs only going to get so many of them.
I know. I'm joking.
No, it's not a bad thought. And the witch in the group last night, she used her version of fireball multiple times to great effect. She ended up killing like 10 orcs with that thing. But yeah, because I am a very, I think, soft, benevolent, whatever DM, I will always try to give my party of players a way out, excuse me, a way out of whatever they're dealing with, you know?
The only way that they shouldn't have a way out is if they dug themselves into that issue.
Yep. No, you're 100% right. And I agree with you 100%, Tim. Yeah. I try to always give them a way out where they can run, hide, do something Now, if they insist on being stupid, then I will punish them within the full extent of the law. You know what I'm saying? And I won't even feel bad. Believe me. My wife can tell you I've killed a couple of her characters over the years. Not that she was doing anything stupid, but yeah. While I say I'm a soft DM, I do not fudge dice. I roll them right out in front of everybody. And you can even be sleeping with me and I'll still kill your character. If that's just what happens, that's just what happens. That's just, I mean, what do you want me to do about it? I am, and I always tell my players this: I am not your opponent. I'm just the arbiter of the rules and the world. Shit will happen. Don't take it personal like I'm doing it. I'm just the guy telling you what's happening, but I'm not necessarily the one making it happen. Right? Because Wandering Monsters, as a matter of fact, I have the players roll for Wandering Monsters. I don't even roll for them. So when they're in a dungeon or an area, let's say there's a 1 in 6 chance of Wandering Monster, yeah, players roll. And of course, one of the guys at my table, Jay, I'm not going to say his full name, but Jay, every time I'm like, Jay, roll to see if you get a Wandering Monster. Guaranteed he's going to roll a 1 every time. And last night he was kind of complaining a little bit, like in a funny way, though. He's like, every time I roll to attack, I can't hit anything. But the second he asked me to roll for a Wandering Monster, it doesn't matter what die it's on, I roll a 1. So, yeah, he was, oh, man, that's just his luck. And the poor scout in the group spent the whole game, and we played 4 hours. We played 4 hours last night, and the scout, I don't think, hit anything the whole night. I mean, he was still super important to the game, though, because he scouted everything. So he found that there was something under the well, and he found, like, all kinds of stuff. But when it comes to actual combat, yeah, it does. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm playing it wrong. But yeah, I think if you get hit before you get your spell off, then that you're done. I'd have to double check that roll actually, because it's not something that's come up a lot. So
It
I'm
happens to me quite a few times.
with it. And my books are on the table instead next to me at this point. But the thing is, the game plays so quick, and it has so much in common with like OD&D and basic D&D and stuff like that, that I have to admit, sometimes I might blur the rules between editions. And so I've been running it the way you just said. Doesn't necessarily mean it's how you're supposed to do it, but I've been doing it that way. So, yeah. Huh. I definitely have to have a look and double check and make sure I'm not doing anything. But I also do the thing where if someone's engaged in combat and they try to retreat, you get a free attack.
Well,
and so yeah, I'm pretty sure I read the rules correctly. But it is possible, I say again, it is possible that I have blurred some D&D, AD&D type stuff into my Hyperborea game. It's 100% possible that that is a thing that has happened.
yeah,
And
maybe.
it happens with me because I've ran so many versions of D&D over the years that in my mind it is really easy to mistake which one is which one, you know?
I know, Bubba. He's changed some rules about attacks of opportunity. One,
Well,
it's no longer a 360-degree type of thing. You have to be facing the person to get that attack of opportunity.
yeah, I don't even run attack of opportunity. The only time you get an attack of opportunity is if someone's engaged with you and they try to flee.
Yeah.
Or if you're trying to cast a spell and there's someone, you know, immediately within range. But other than that, I mean, because that's basically the rule of thumb is you cannot cast spells or make ranged attacks while someone is in your face trying to beat your ass. That is
At
kind
least
of
not
my
easily.
rule of thumb. You just can't do it. Don't try. Somebody's going to smack the shit out of you, and you're not going to be happy. So, you
Yep.
know, uh, let's not even go
That
down that route.
that happened to me in Bubba's game.
Right.
They won initiative. I didn't get my spell off, and it was sad.
Right. Because, you know, everybody's supposed to do the whole, well, I'm doing this round, I'm doing that this round.
Yep.
And if the spellcaster declares, I'm casting a spell this round and then gets freaking bushwhacked, well, I mean,
You're interrupted.
sorry about your luck. I mean, you know, I guess I should probably double check though to see if Hyperborea has a thing where you can roll your caster level. Because in Hyperborea, you have a caster level. As you go up, you get your caster level, and that could actually affect if you're interrupted or not. So that is on me to look that up. But yeah, in OSC, yeah, if you win the initiative, you're going to get your spell off. That's basically the thing. Because you go before your opponent goes, right? But like I said in my game, the difference would be even if you win initiative, if there's a monster engaged with you and you try to cast a spell, he's going to smack the shit out of you. Now, if he doesn't hit you, your spell can go off. But if he hits you, then you will not be able to get that spell off. That's how I do it. Is it the correct way to do it? No, I don't know. You know. Yeah, I'm not in the business of telling people the correct way to run their games. That's just not the thing I do. But I will tell you how I run my games. And then if you want to, you know, make fun of me and say that I'm a noob and a loser and I'm doing it wrong, then I'll just laugh it off until I log off, and then I'll go in my room and cry. But, you know, not really, though. That's a joke, but I love OSC, by the way. And sometimes I wonder if I'm bleeding OSC into Hyperborea with the rules. Now, the good news is a number of players at my table have the rules. And like my brother has the rules. So anytime I'm like not 100% on something, I now have the ability to be like, you know, Haas, what's the rule on this, bro? And he will look it up for me and tell me, you know, like if I'm not 100% sure on a spell or anything like that, you know, because I'm running the game. So while I'm running the game, he's looking up the rule. And then, you know, he can be like, oh, here's how it works, man. And then I can be like, okay. And I can move on with whatever I'm doing, right? Because when I'm running the game, I'm walking around the table. Like last night, you should have seen the layout. I mean, if you've ever seen a map of Kudo's Well from Full of Radiance, I had it laid out 100% accurately. And I mean, with buildings, right? 3D everything, the well in the middle, the whole 9 yards. And So a lot of times I have to stand up and walk around. And then I also had the camera set up so that my brother, who plays with me on Discord, uh, the camera was pointing at the map so he could see everything on the map, which ended up working out very well because I didn't have to answer as many questions about where is he and where is, because he could just see. But yeah. Yeah, see the thing, yeah, I think I answered that question, Armin. You can try to cast a spell, but if the guy's standing in front of you, he's going to smack you. And one thing Hyperborea has done, I don't know if it's the math or if it just feels this way for whatever reason, but in Hyperborea, it seems like it's not that hard to hit people. It seems like there's a lot less missing going on. You know what I mean? During a combat, it does seem like there's a lot of people getting hit. And you figure, okay, let's take the wife's Berserker. That's an extreme, but we'll take that one. She's a level 4 Berserker, which means her fighting ability is +4. Her chance to hit armor class 0 is 19. However, she's got an 18 strength because of a magic item. That gives her another +2 to hit, right? And then if she's got her magic axe, which is +1. So that's 4, 5, 6, +7 to hit, which means to hit an armor class 0, she needs a 12. And that's to hit 0.
Not bad.
Well, okay, think about if she's trying to attack somebody with an armor class of 8, like a wizard or not.
You're guaranteed pretty much.
Yeah, unless she rolls like a 2, she's going to smack the shit out of that guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because she needs like a 9 to hit, and she's got +7. So it's like, so that's why I say if somebody's in your face, you're probably not getting your spell cast just because it is so easy to hit an unarmored. Now, the wizard in the party has stuck to actually using his mage armor and shit. It's not mage armor, it's ice armor because he's cryomancer, but it's the same thing. When he casts it, it gives him an armor class of 5, which is still not great, but is a damn sight better than frickin' 9.
I'll stick to my -4 AC.
Well, I mean, these guys might get there one day.
Yep.
I mean, the scout in the group is running around with no armor. He doesn't even wear armor because his dex is pretty good, and he gets a +1 to his armor class for not wearing armor. So he figured it out, and he basically, it turns out, like the heaviest armor he could wear isn't really much better. It's like 1 point better than him buck naked, but it would slow him down.
Yeah.
So he's decided to opt for
no armor,
speed.
Yep.
So yeah, instead of having like the 7 armor class or the 5 armor class, he's got like a 6 armor class, but he's got a movement speed of 40. And he doesn't get any penalties to his various, scout bullshit.
That's why clerics are the best. Just pure armor.
Yeah, I actually still have a lot of fondness for AD&D. Arn, I love OSE. Absolutely love OSE. Mainly not the game. I just love how it's written. The game is just BX, really, so nothing super special about it. But the writing and editing is so great, the formatting, that it stands on its own that way. But anyone who has been around my channel for any length of time knows that I am a freak for Conan and all that, goofy, weird like schlocky shit from the 20s and 30s, right? And Hyperborea gives me that. And that's the thing that I actually love. Just the fact that I'm playing in a world where the gods of Lovecraft exist, and a lot of the creatures from Lovecraft actually exist. And the world itself is so weird that the world is almost like part of the adventure. You know, like, yeah, you don't want to get ate by animals, but you know what? The world will kill you also if you don't pay attention. I mean, Hyperborea itself will kill you, and so it's just neat, you know. Not that the players think about it overly much, but the idea that they're walking through some place, and everything is reddish, and Saturn occupies the majority of the sky, and the Greek gods are in fact a thing. Like Apollo and Artemis have huge followings, but then again, so does Cthulhu amongst some quarters. And just, I don't know, it's everything setting wise I ever wanted. And it does have some superior rules systems, I think, to like older versions. There's some things that are just better. Like I like the fact that when you go up in level, instead of having to adjust your attack matrix, you just get a bonus. So your attack matrix stays the same always. Fighters start out with a base 19 to hit armor class 0. That never changes. But every time the fighter levels up, he gets a bonus to the roll to do that. That's just it's basically the same exact principle, but done better. Just done better. And another thing that's kind of weird, but I love it, is like the thief skills. A lot of the thief skills, if not all the thief skills, are on a die 12. So like my scout in the group, when he wants to track, depending on the terrain and everything, I think under really good circumstances, he's got like a 7 and 12. So it's almost like the writer took the idea of the die 6 and just converted it to a die 12. And that might seem like a simple who cares thing, but I think it's kind of awesome because that poor die 12 never got any love at all. Now it does. Now it's actually important to the group. Another thing is, instead of rolling under attributes, like for strength or whatever, whatever your strength actually is denotes your chance in die 6 to do a thing. So my wife's got a 4 and 6 chance to pull off, a strength thing, and then a 38% chance to pull off an extreme feat of strength. And that's a negotiable. Like if a character says they want to do some extreme feat of strength, you literally, there's a list of things that count, but don't hold yourself to that list. You know what I mean? So you literally need to be like, okay, exactly what are you trying to do? And then if they do it, all right, cool. Like last night, she wanted to do an extreme feat of strength to cut right through one orc and hit the orc standing beside it, basically to remove both of their heads, which would be attack rolls and damage rolls. But she wanted to do that, and I let her roll. She rolled a 0-8. I was like, all right, you swing your axe in a giant glittering arc, Let's see if you do it. I'm going to let you try. And she did. She hit both of them. And, but again, like I said, she's got like +7 to hit. They're armor class 5. So for her, she would need a 14 base. So she'd need a 7. And then these orcs had like 8 hit points each. And with her weapon doing a die 10 and her strength bonus and everything like that, she's specialized in the great axe. So she gets a bonus to damage there. Pretty much, even if she'd rolled like a 1, she'd have killed them, you know? So dealing with combat with her character is actually kind of easy because she pretty much just kills everything. So, yeah. And then
Sounds pretty
my
cool.
brother was the hero last night. The witch in the group was heavily damaged down to like single digits. And he ran up and stood beside her and told her she could use her transfer wound spell on him. And what that meant is that all of the damage she had taken got transferred from her to Haas, to the cleric. So he took all like 20 damage so that she wouldn't be damaged at all. And then immediately the orc chief ran up and smacked the shit out of him and put him to -7. But luckily, he's not the only healer in the group. Plus, in Hyperborea, between fights, players can, bandage. I mean, it won't heal a lot, but yeah, you can bandage each other up, and
For what, like a D3?
It's like a D4.
Ah, D4. So it's better than ours.
Yeah. So yeah, between a fight, you can only do it like once per day. But one time per day, a player can apply bandages to your wounds and it will heal you up, that whatever. That is a great idea that they actually kind of took from a Wilderness Survival Guide. Because in the Wilderness Survival Guide, they had a proficiency that worked just like that. I think it was called healing. But basically, you would make a wisdom check, and if you succeeded, then whoever you were bandaging would heal. Like 1 die 4 hit points or something, right? So they simplified that and then just put it on there. So I personally love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh yeah, yeah. And here's the thing: the main city in Hyperborea is called Hormarium, and it's a city that's constantly covered in soot. It's surrounded on one side by giant swamp, and on the other side by the ocean. And it basically it's very much similar to Lankhmar, And the reason it's covered in soot is because they have giant foundries in the city that burn the peat that they harvest out of the swamp. Not only peat though, there's lakes that are almost 20 miles across in the swamp area that are just nothing but crude oil. Lakes of tar and crude oil. 10-second rounds. I do 6-second rounds. So 10 rounds is a minute. And then 10 minutes, that's a turn. That's how I do it. That's how I separate the time. Yeah. I mean, but I don't think that matters too much, really. My whole thing is reading Robert E. Howard and doing my best to describe combats the way he did. Because I think Howard is the greatest writer when it comes to describing combat. So this is you see how he's got his thing on in his belt? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ones without weapons, I can either change hands out and give them weapons, or I can just put weapons, like sheathed weapons, on their belts and just have them be like, away. But I mean, Iron Man, I'd be interested to understand what the advantage of 10-second rounds would be over 6-second rounds. I'd also be interested to figure out why I even use 6-second rounds as opposed to some other. Because honestly, I'm not even sure how I came to the conclusion that I should use 6-second rounds. Maybe, is that a BX thing?
I don't know. I've heard that too. 6-second rounds.
Yeah, if it's a BX thing, I understand it, because
I know early in 5th edition that's how it was too.
Yeah, because I am a BX type of guy deep down in my heart. So if they did 6-second rounds in BX, I've probably been doing 6-second rounds in every game I've run since. I started out with the Moldvay Cook, and it influenced my gaming for my entire life. Hackmaster. Yeah. If you want a super complicated WTF is going on over here system, Hackmaster's the one. It did have kind of at least Hackmaster Basic, which I ran, had kind of a cool combat system though, where you had like offensive and defensive roles, but I mean the game was made complicated specifically to make fun of D&D. That's the whole point of Hackmaster. They're like, let's make this game as freaking complicated and obtuse as possible, because we're actually parodying. It's a parody of AD&D. And then somehow people like Squirrels was like, nah, we're going to play this shit. And there you go. It all had to do with Dragon Magazine putting Kinzer and Company comics in their Dragon magazines without permission. But yeah. Okay, see, you can't see it, but I hung a little chain with a skeleton on his behind. All right, he's got him a shrunken head. I need to do this guy's. Not sure about this guy in that I might need to do his armor different, but I'm not sure because it's based on Achilles.
Yeah.
So he's wearing that really almost black bronze armor. And in the movie, because I was trying to base it on the movie, right? In the movie, I think his cloak might have actually been red, but everything else on him was black.
Yeah.
So
also, all OSE and BX went by 10-second rounds.
Did they?
Yeah.
Not when I ran them.
Not when you ran them.
So where did I get the 6-second round?
I don't know. Horde Wars use 6-second rounds. Never heard of Horde Wars.
That is kind of crazy. Then I'm out here just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys can be like, "Oh, that DM James, he don't know shit, man. He been running his game for years with 6-second rounds."
And I never thought of anything up but 6-second rounds, and that was probably mainly because of 5th edition.
Huh.
I know fifth edition went by 6 second rounds.
Did it?
Yeah.
Hmm. Wonder if fourth did or third did too.
Maybe.
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
I know AD&D had like segments and rounds and freaking. There was a lot of shit going on with AD&D. I know that. Hmm.
Well,
So my
sorry.
rune questing buddy,
Yeah.
what is around in RuneQuest?
Not much. I haven't gotten to play it in a long time.
Yeah, but what is around?
I don't know.
You ain't got the book available. You don't remember?
I never had. Well, I do have one book, but that book is crap. I don't care for it. I miss the old third
Don't
edition.
worry about it.
Oh, you're cutting out there.
I was just wondering if did I pick that up?
You back there, James? Oh, nope.
Because I did run a shit ton of roll.
I think his computer's dying now. Oh, I think you're back. Nope,
I
never
ran
mind.
Middle Earth Roll
We can't hear you, James.
Master
Oh boy.
because days your thing, and rounds to a minute is the way you do it, and I do it 10 rounds to a minute. So in my game, basically, in a 1 minute time period, there's almost double the amount of actions taking place.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Back,
that's,
James.
huh?
You're back. You were cutting out pretty bad for a bit there.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, so I almost double the amount of
Yeah.
attacks in a minute.
Yeah, I
And
got that. It was more about the roll master and stuff like that we missed.
oh, I was just complaining that the basic Rollmaster game, like the actual Rollmaster game, has never been as good as the Lord of the Rings version, the Middle Earth.
Ah, okay.
And it has to do with simplicity.
Fair.
Middle Earth role playing keeps it simple. You know, it's not quite as kitchen sink. And that ends up being a really good thing ultimately because it makes it so much easier to run the game. You can just sit down with the human ranger and the dwarf fighter and the whatever and play the game. But Rollmaster, regardless of the edition, can get so freaking bloated and full of itself that, you know, and kind of like I would say Palladium. If you're going to play Rollmaster, you got to know when to tell players no.
Yeah.
And it's usually when they're making characters because like the new Rollmaster has 25 class or races you could play. Some shit like that.
That's a little bit much.
Yeah, you can play like frogmen and bearmen and birdmen and so you can play all the furries you ever wanted to play. And you know, there comes a point where you just need to be like, no, we're not doing this, guys. Come on. And yeah.
I'll stick to RuneQuest. It has a good number that it doesn't get too absurd.
When I played RuneQuest, it was humans only. And it was set in Greece.
Fair enough.
A mythological Greece, but
I mean, you don't have to use all the mythological races that they have in that game. Heck, you could actually just change the setting completely.
well, in the 6th edition book, which is the one I have, it was basically just Greece.
Yeah, I don't think I liked it though because they take out the magic system whenever they go with BRP. And that's like
So
the fun
yeah.
part about the system to me is their magic system.
Ah, okay. Oh man, Sunday. I did all my chores, ran the game, walked the dog. Going to play some Agricola tonight with the wife.
Nice. Uh, I'll hopefully have a game tomorrow and the day after. I still need to work on the Tuesday game character because I need some information before I can finish my character. Really, mainly that do I start at level 2 or do I gain some experience or what? I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, if
I
it
got.
was a public game, it'd be easy. You just start at level 2, and then you'll probably gain experience from, the pyre or your previous character.
I, being the nice Steam that I am, I generally let players start, especially if experienced players I've been gaming with for like ever. I usually let them start at level 3,
Eh, fair enough.
and just move on from there. It's like,
I say level 3 is a good point to start at.
well, it's at level 3. Your characters are, I would say, they're competent.
Yeah,
you know, and they're going to be able to kind of survive a lot of the basic little shit that they might run into.
yeah,
A group of level 3s will probably survive an attack by an orc band of raiders unless there's like a shit ton of them, right? Now, there is sometimes it's fun to start at level 1, but sometimes the players have started at level 1 100 times and they're ready to just get into more exciting adventures.
To be fair, I
So,
don't think I would like starting at level 2 at least because I don't know. It feels like level 1 you'll have that issue of you might get into a constant state of nearly dying in every fight if you just don't hide or something. It's like you're not much of a help and you're more just hoping to coast by on the other players at that point.
well, the problem that I've seen in the game I'm running with the mages is that, and I don't know if I'm doing it on purpose or it's just happening this way. They just end up getting caught in the thick of the combat, even though they're like not in the front line. But a lot of times, if they get ambushed or something, then all of a sudden you've got monsters in the back line doing all kinds of shit, right?
Yep.
And, players are running around trying to pill monsters off of the mages. But, that's not necessarily a guarantee.
You know what helped us with that, James?
Uh-uh.
Once our Bubba's groups merged, we basically had people who are really good at fighting in the front and the back because
See,
there's just
that would
no
be the
enough
thing.
space for frontliners on both on one side.
See, right now, the front line in my group is the Spartan Warlock, which is a fighter subclass,
Yeah,
and the Berserker. And actually, that's not true. The real front line is the Scout
yeah,
because he's always out
ahead
in
of the
front of the group, right? Looking
yeah,
around.
looking around and
Right.
reporting back to the group.
And then, so you've got the two warriors followed up by the cleric and one of the mages, and then another mage with an assassin.
Yeah,
And the assassin's trying to keep an eye on that mage and watch behind. And a lot of times it works, but sometimes it don't.
yeah.
Sometimes shit happens.
For us, I went from like the front line to the very back line.
One thing I do too, which I don't know if the players have noticed it or not, they may have. But if an intelligent monster has a choice between attacking any character, they generally go after the cleric first, the mage second, and then whoever after that, you know.
Yeah,
But I know a lot of people say take out the mage, but my monsters go after the cleric.
because the cleric will keep the party up. You don't want
Right.
that.
So yeah, the
Yeah,
second they
and I mean the mages are dangerous, but you know it won't really help you if you just take out the mage and he gets back up anyway.
yeah, if you swarm the cleric right off the bat and take him out of the fight, then I mean you're going to win pretty much. That's at least what my monsters are thinking in their heads while they're doing their monstery things.
At least if they're intelligent.
Yeah, at least if they're somewhat intelligent. And the thing is, in Hyperborea, orcs are no joke.
Yeah.
They're not stupid little, I'm a stupid orc. No. No. They're vicious bastards. They pretty much, it's almost a surprise they haven't conquered half of the continent by now. You know, they reproduce incredibly fast. And so you figure every time an orc gives birth, it gives birth to a litter of 6 to 8 orcs, right? And they are combat effective at the age of 10. And then on top of that, technologically speaking, they're up there with humans. You know, they can build heavy crossbows and shit. And the only real difference is that the orc built one will be a no nonsense, designed purely for effectiveness fucking bow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It will not be pretty. There will not be any aesthetics. It is just a thing meant to shoot a heavy bolt far. And so, yeah, the players have had to kind of come to grips with that too when fighting the orcs. That you know they're not like D&D orcs that are running around being goofballs. These guys will straight jack you up.
I don't know. I mean,
They use tactics.
I like there being
Sometimes
smart
humans
ones.
actually fight alongside them.
Yeah.
Well, some Pictish tribes will fight as allies with the orcs, or as subjugated vassals.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can go on with these orcs, right? So it's a totally different thing.
For me though, with the orcs, I don't know. I think I like the idea of them having some smart ones, but if anything, I'd rather them have like scavenged weapons from fallen foes more than having their own or making their own.
Well, when you start DMing, you can do that. But
I'll
let me
never
tell you
will.
this
But
right now: the city of Orcrist is a big freaking city full of orcs, ruled by demons,
I get that. That's a different setting. It works that way.
and they can forge and craft all their needs, no problem. Now, if they do see a weapon that looks cool, an orc would pick it up. I mean, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but they don't need to. And like how in most games you pick up an orc weapon and it's like, yeah, it's a piece of shit. No, the thing's just as good as a human-made weapon. It's just maybe a little more brutal in function,
See,
but
that's the one thing. Again, in the fantasy setting, I don't get either is having them all. Like maybe if they were badly damaged through misuse, maybe. But if anything, if they're scavenging from like human settlements, I'd say their gear should be similar to what they scavenge.
well, if they're raiding human places, they should have human level gear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of the orcs just being a bunch of monumental assholes
Fair.
running around, just doing bad stuff.
Yep.
Um, I like the fact that I know why they're pig faced.
because
That's
they're
kind of a big thing for me, anyway.
in that game they're like demons, aren't they, or half demons or something like that?
Yeah. Yep. Because the Nigba pit or whatever, basically the devil swine from D&D, same kind of creature, reproduced with Pictish women, and the offspring are orcs, who some were born female, which means now two orcs can reproduce with each other. They don't even need the human females anymore. They can just freaking crank them out. And like I said, they grow so fast that they're combat ready. Hirelings are a good idea, Iron Man, at any time, in my
Yep.
opinion. There's never a reason, if you have the money, not to have at least one or two hirelings. You know, I
I
mean,
know I
and
had like
maybe a couple of treasure bearers,
what's
you
it?
know. Go ahead, Tim.
I know that I had like a elven, like I think it was like a half elf or elf archer ranger type of character. That was one of my hirelings, I guess you could say.
Oh, you paid some money for like a mercenary.
Not really. I rescued the mercenary.
Oh, okay. So that, yeah. But I'm saying
More like
if
a
you were in
companion.
a town where there are hirelings to be had,
Yeah, we've done that too. Although half of them die, that happens a lot.
well, you don't want that to happen too much because if you keep getting them killed, you'll get to a point where they won't join you anymore.
Yeah, we've been having that issue.
Because they're going to be like, no way. You
It's like,
guys, it's like every time anyone goes out with you, they end up dead. I'm not doing
yeah,
it. You know,
yeah.
I got a wife and kids, man. I got 5 kids to feed.
Yep.
I did that one time.
I
Like
got 5 kids to feed.
the players were at the, well, if you ever saw like Total Recall, the Schwarzenegger one, you would get it. The players were at the town square, and this hireling come up missing a couple teeth, and he started being like, you guys should hire me. And they're like, no. And he's like, come on, my name is whatever it was. He's like, you should hire me, man, I need this. And they're like, why? And I got 5 kids to feed, man. And they're finally like, okay. And they hired him, and he betrayed them
Exactly.
because, you know, he was working for the cult that runs the freaking Caves of Chaos, that I'm constantly explaining to people when they're like, I don't understand why all these monsters are working together in the cult of chaos. It's like because they all worship the Rusden, and that cult in there, the clerics and all the undead and all that. Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
And I forget, there was an adventure where they literally spelled it out, that while the demi-humans may not get along with each other, what with them being stupid demi-humans, they wouldn't F around if it meant the priests are going to be like, what are you idiots up to? You know what I mean? Like one of those priests runs out and starts talking shit, they all snap too, because none of them want to fight with like a level 6 freaking cleric that's got an army of undead. You just wipe their asses out and find a new bunch of idiots to follow him, right? So that's why the Caves of Chaos holds together. It's the evil priests. Plus, there's like a level whatever evil priest in the castle, in the keep, infiltrating. And sadly, all of the best treasure in that adventure is in the castle. It's like one time my group, they actually got the cleric from the castle to come with them, because you can do that. And of course, the second they went into the temple and started fighting, he dropped a whole person on them. and which made the fight super hard for them. But they ended up winning, and he's wearing a pair of +3 plate mail. And it's
Oh,
like at level 3 or 4, your character's rocking +3 plate armor. It's like, yeah, give that to the fighter. He's going to have an easy time of it from here on out, pretty much.
give that
Because,
to me. I want a +3 plate mail. I'm close to it already.
right? But,
Just imagine what my AC would be if I had a +3 plate armor
well, the
already.
highest magic item when it comes to pluses in my game is now the cleric's +3 footman's mace.
Yeah.
But that's not the most powerful one, though, because there's like the +2 dagger that if you roll a nat 20, save or die.
Yeah, that's a death weapon. You don't,
Yeah, which
want to get hit by that.
honestly, even though the way they describe it, is actual fingers coming up from the depths of hell and pulling you down, game effect wise, it is absolutely no different than a dagger of venom, right? You
That's
get
kind of sad,
stabbed,
though.
huh?
I think that's kind of sad. It should be a little bit more.
Well, the way they tell you to describe how it works is pretty effed up.
I know, but I don't know. It feels like that you should have like a much harder time to res somebody from that.
Oh, you can't res somebody from that.
Oh, good. Okay. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, a
dagger
harder
venom
time,
is
not a harder time, just not
just
possible.
not possible. Okay.
Yeah, because their soul gets sucked straight to hell. They cannot be resurrected, brought back in any way.
Okay.
The only thing it doesn't work on is like the undead and things that don't have a soul.
Yeah, of course.
But pretty much anything living that might have a soul, this thing's more than ready to go.
Again, it's almost like a death weapon from RuneQuest. Anything
Yeah.
with death magic, it's crazy how powerful those things can be, and dangerous to yourself if you accidentally cut yourself with it.
Yeah. Which is the problem assassins have when they're trying to poison up their weapons, right?
Yep.
Is they got to make sure they don't accidentally stab themselves.
Yep.
And then they're just going to be like sitting there like, wow.
Ah, that wouldn't affect my bard in RuneQuest. I'd just get drunk.
Well, your Barden Rune quest. Your Barden Rune quest. Yeah.
That was a weird and funny thing that I just had this ability to just get drunk off of poison.
So, woke up first thing this morning and watched Holy Diver's video, his last one. Yeah, he was pretty mad. Apparently, he went to like a game store to play a war game with a buddy of his, and he didn't know there was a Magic the Gathering tournament going on. And like, it smelled so bad that by the time he left, he was gagging. And he was like, I'm ashamed to be an American if this is, he's like, these people in here are acting like they're from the third world or something. Take a bath, shower, put some freaking deodorant on. And it's like, yeah, I think everyone who ever hung out in a comic shop knows that people, or maybe even was that people. I might have been that people on occasion, because there were a couple of times where I would leave straight from my work to go to the comic shop to get on the tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would slap deodorant on and I showered and all, but I don't know how I'm actually. I might not have smelled that great after an 8-hour shift, out in the sun. But there were some guys that would show up at our game store and literally they smelled like cat piss. And it would be like, okay, is that stress sweat? Because stress sweat a lot of times smells like cat piss. Or do you just like let your cat sleep on the bed and piss on you? I mean, I don't know.
Oh boy.
Like, what's going on here, right? And there was a guy that was really bad for that, and I actually pulled him aside and had a talk with him,
Yeah.
like like Uncle Chip to weird dude in comic shop. And I just told him, dude, come on, man. I mean, he had money. It's not like he was broke. Like, he had money. It was just like, I don't know. He just didn't take care of himself right, which I think is probably a form of something wrong.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know. And I'm not by no means am I saying I'm the cleanest bastard. I went 6 months without even taking a shower. Of course, I had no choice as in Iraq, but still. So, uh, yeah, I'm not sitting here like being on a high horse, but it does seem in the card playing community, specifically the card playing community, that there's like just people that have a total lack of like awareness of hygiene. Whereas war gamers, most war gamers you run into, especially if they're old bastards like me, you know, you're not going to have problems with them because their wife won't let them leave the house smelling like ass. You know what I mean? They got someone that's actually watching them. But yeah, it's just like at least take a shower 4 times a week, right? At
At
least
least,
make that a goal.
yeah.
At least, at minimum, 4 times a week, scrub down your naughty bits, hit those pits up. See, you got to take a lot of baths when you live in Kentucky because you got to look for ticks.
Yeah, if you
So,
go out in the woods at least.
oh, I can't imagine being in Kentucky and not being out in the woods.
Fair.
I know you live in a different part. For me, the woods are the reason to be there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I mean, I could go out in the woods sometimes. There's not one too far away from me.
No, there's not a forest too far away from anywhere in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, that place is just forests, at least east and central. I mean, the
Uh,
Daniel Boone National Forest, how big is that? That thing is
Pretty big.
fucking huge.
Yep.
But anyway, so yeah, it was a good video. I'm not going to try and take all of his thunder. I want anyone who watches this to eventually go over and watch his video. And it was a good video about his experience. And, he basically gives like a how to not stink video. He discusses, soap and deodorant and stuff like that. And it's like, because I like that idea because I want the bros at the comic shop to take care of themselves. And you know why?
Because it affects everybody there.
Hey, no, because they're bros, man.
Yeah. That
And
too.
if you're a gamer bro and there's another gamer bro, unless you hate their guts and you just want the worst for them, you probably should help them out. Like if they're walking around stinking, it's possible they're just not aware. It's possible they don't have a good influence in their life, you know. And it's like, well, step up and try to be that guy, you know? Try to be the guy that lets them know, hey, come on, man. You could totally change a person's life just by stepping up and being the guy that explains to them some shit. Next thing you know, he might be in there with a cute chick, you know? He might see you sitting at the table playing 40K and give you the bro nod, like, thanks, bro. Without you, I wouldn't have the cute girl.
Hey, James, I'm going to have to leave, so I'll see you.
I will see you later, my good sir. So I guess that's where I'm coming from, is just like help a brother out, man. Don't let him just sit there stinking. You know, tell him, hey, straighten your ass up. What's up, Daniel? But too many dudes at the comic shop that I hung out in. Too many dudes would rather just sit and laugh and make fun of somebody behind their back than actually, walk up to a guy and be like, hey, bro, take him aside and be like, look, man, come on, you're better than this. Yeah, right. So that's my take on the whole thing. And yes, like Holy Diver was saying, I've been there. I know. And if you try to help a guy and they basically tell you pound sand, well then pound sand. At that point, if people want to make fun of them, you just let them. Be like, fine then. You want to be that guy. I'm over here trying to help you and jerk ass about it. Okay. Enjoy being made fun of for being a dumbass. But so yeah, good video. He did a good video. He almost always does though, so. And by almost, I mean he does. So yeah. So still working on the blimmies. I'm getting ready to hang a crossbow off of a blimmy's belt. And then also a quiver of arrows. Just so that, everybody can see this blimmy is carrying a crossbow. How will it go? It'll fit right in there. Okay. Yep. That's nice. Need some glue. And I'll put the arrows on the other side of him. Some of these guys, I'll put like daggers and stuff on their belts, clubs, stuff like that. Damn it. You know how it is when you get too much super glue on your hands? And then you basically lose like your grip. Because the super glue makes your fingers so slick that it's like, there we go now. Yeah. I'm giving him a crossbow instead of a bow because it just seems like something you're more likely to carry on a belt as opposed to strapped on you. And also, if I remember correctly, the ancient Picts actually used crossbows. I mean, they were like, but still, they weren't like arbalists or anything, but still. And then, damn, that's a lot of glue. That is a lot of glue. Let's go ahead and put the arrows on there too. There we go. Okay. And now you'll just need a weapon and he'll be good. Luckily, I've got a lot of weapons. But yeah, happy days, man. Happy days over here, Daniel. Just BSing around about the game. I am so tempted to just get up and go get my freaking Hyperborea book and see what it says about the length of a combat round. There's a part of me that is eating up. I'm not going to lie. Here we are. Freaking beauty. Beauty, eh? Yeah. I can't wait to get one of these guys completely painted up and actually post a picture of it on the person who made them for me page. I have their page. I'm going to post a picture and just so she sees, what I ended up doing with the product she made for me. I think she'll be pretty impressed. She's up in Ohio. Probably not that far away from the squirrel, since I think she's northeast Ohio. Somebody's saying there's a tournament in Ohio, and it's in Cleveland. And all I could think of when I heard, oh, there's something in Cleveland, was that old meme song. The whole "Come on down to Cleveland, under construction since 1875." Come on down to Cleveland. That guy on the bike has at least 3 DUIs, and it just keeps going. And then at the very end, it says, "But we're not Detroit." That's like the answer to the whole thing, though. Come on down to Cleveland. We're not Detroit. Don't stop in South Cleveland or you'll die. Shit like that. We've got neighbor. You can buy a house for the cost of a VCR. And then it says like their only export is crippling depression. Like, damn. And the guy who wrote the song is from Cleveland. So, our only export is crippling depression. That's like, damn, man. That's it makes me feel bad for you, Come and see a river that has caught on fire. I mean, I don't know if Squirrel's still in the chat, but I assume he would know about if any of that's true. Like, is there a river in Cleveland that has caught on fire? Man, kind of cool, I guess. And, Okay, let's see. Let me see. I spent a week in Toledo, Ohio one day. Oh, man. My father-in-law does a lot of work in Toledo currently, and he absolutely likes it. Apparently, they've been doing a whole lot of work to as some people would say, gentrify Toledo. But my buddy Ash, when I was a kid, he grew up in Toledo, and he used to tell me it was the absolute worst. Now, I can only imagine when he was describing Toledo that it's just the Ohio version of Louisville. which for Kentucky is not only the worst, but it's like if you ask most people who live in Kentucky but don't live in Louisville, but like who live in real Kentucky, most people will happily tell you that they would trade Louisville to Ohio in a second. Like in a New York minute, no doubts at all. Take that shit from us. We don't want it. Unfortunately, I don't guess you're allowed to do that. But believe me, most people from Kentucky would be like, yeah, you can go ahead and have that Louisville shit. Because Louisville is the worst place in Kentucky. Anyone who tells you different hasn't actually been to Kentucky or is from Louisville. And you can't trust anybody from Louisville. That's just how it is. So the girl who played Katniss, she come from somewhere near Louisville. Marisha Day, I think, came from more eastern Kentucky. I think Williamsburg, but I'm not sure. Which Williamsburg is near where I'm from. Johnny Depp, I think he come from around Louisville, that area, E-Town. George Clooney, I think he come from eastern Kentucky. Not sure, but I think he did. That's why he left his home in old Kentucky, the place where he was born and raised. Right? All right, that looks pretty good. But made this guy southpaw. Gave him a mace, but I put it in his left hand. I left my home in old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. Well, for 6 long years I've been a stranger. No comfort. Well, I found. Anyway, I don't know the words to that really, but I do love the movie. It's a really good movie. I think my favorite character is Delmar. But anyway, put some more belts on these assholes. See, if I'd been smart, I'd put the belts on before I put the turges on. It would have been easier, And I could just went all the way around them with the belt, then glued the turge on, and then glued the buckle, the shield, the whatever on. So I kind of did it backwards, actually. Yeah. See, unfortunately, my homie, Cold Iron, is probably sleeping because he works late. And I don't know where the hell Doc Flamingo is. He joined me last night right as I was ending the shift. So I felt bad, but when people show up, like you say, okay, guys, I'm getting ready to leave. And then someone jumps in and it's like, damn it, like, because I don't know. I always feel bad. I'm like, I don't want to leave now, but I got to, It's like, mm, 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 mm. Again. See, one interesting fact I can tell you is this. If you live in Ohio and you live in southern Ohio, right? You can walk out and you can see the Ohio River. And it's a pretty wide river, very shallow, but pretty wide, right? But the one thing you always have to remember is even though the Ohio River runs right next to your state and is named after your state, it is not your river, because every damn little bit of that river belongs to the state of Kentucky. Now, how that happened, I don't know. But it did happen. The Ohio River belongs to Kentucky. Now, if I remember correctly, the Ohio were a native tribe that lived in that area, so maybe that's what it was. Maybe the river is named after the native tribe and not the state. The state and the river were both named after the native tribe. Don't know. That's an interesting thing. So 10-second rounds means 6 rounds to a turn versus 10 rounds to a turn, which means my wife's bearskin, enchanted, bearskin cloak that can turn her into a bear once per day actually gets 4 rounds more of use in my version than in your version. So yeah, totally see what you're saying as far as that being, is that a balance issue or not? I personally don't feel like it is, since everyone is playing by the same rules, including the monsters. If the monsters have any abilities that work by turns, then their stuff is working too, just like the players. So everybody's on the same even, playing field. And so I think it works out in the end. I think really the only issue is what I think. Okay, we've hit on I believe the thing, which is consistency. As long as everyone's playing by the same rules, then it's okay. It's okay, right? But if the players and the monsters are playing by entirely separate rules as far as time and stuff, that's when you might have an issue that you may have to deal with. But in my game, we've been doing it the way we've been doing it. So have the monsters. So like the orc shaman raised skeletons the other day, right? And there, I think, was a time thing on that. And it was okay, though, because everybody's playing by the same time. So of course, there is a way I can find out right now, because I, of course, have all of my Hyperborea books on PDF. And I have the folder right here. So all I got to do is open up the player's handbook. Come on, open up, asshole. I don't know why it was fighting with me about opening up. So let's see. Player's manual. And then go over here and find combat. Nope. Not pages. Document outlines. Strength, statistics, hit die. Grab my mouse because it's easier to do this with the rolly wheel. Yeah, we're going to figure this shit out. I don't even know why it took so long. Let's do this, right? Classes, magicians. Okay, there's all the classes. Races and backgrounds. All right, alignments. Got it. Language, religion, equipment, year, services, alchemy. Man, there's a adventure. Hirelings and henchmen. Time. Maybe that's it. Okay, time. Look at this. Time. 1 round equals 10 seconds. 6 rounds equals 1 minute. 1 turn equals 10 minutes. 6 turns equals 1 hour. So the order of the day, my good gentlemen, is I've just been playing wrong. I've just been 100% doing time wrong. Yeah, I just read that, Armin, right out of the Hyperborean book. Literally, they have a chapter called Time. And that is the first line of the chapter. So, okay. All right. I mean, not that I thought this was a competition or anything. I was like legit curious, like, have I been doing it wrong? And the answer is yeah, your boy has been doing it wrong. This whole time, I have been a knucklehead. Now, the question I have, not that it affects anything, because again, consistency within the game, but where did I get the conclusion that the time was on 6 seconds around? Where did that come from? That's the thing I wonder. Like, why did I believe that? Why have I been functioning under that freaking misconception for hell, months, if not years? I've been functioning under the misconception that a combat round is 6 seconds. That is kind of wild if you think about it. Oh, man. I may, in fact, be both of what you said, for sure. And I'm not even like upset or heartbroken about it. I probably got that into my head from one of the various 100 games I've ran in my life. And for whatever stupid reason, it stuck. And I just been going with it, But now that I know, I will change it. However, the players will never really know, Players won't know. I don't even have to tell them. All I got to do is just start keeping track of time correctly. And they'll just be fine with it, Because I don't think they're so worried about time anyway. They're just worried about when they get to take their next turn. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not overly concerned. I am glad that it has been settled though once and for all, because I am that kind of guy that if I'm not sure about something, it will haunt me. A segment is 6 seconds long and 10 seconds is a round. See, that maybe. I don't know. We know the facts though, and that's what's important. We know the facts, and the facts are a combat round in Hyperborea, OSC, and whoever else mentioned is 10 seconds. That is the facts. So that's what I will be functioning under from here on out. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's move my thing up. Well, that's about 2 hours, but I think I'll go a little bit longer since I'm still working on a couple things. And I started very early. I need to get in touch though with Mr. Talanian because he did say if I worked it out like a good time and all, he would like to join me on stream, and that would be, But I was thinking about the other night too, and a problem I was thinking about was I don't know what to ask him. I guess I could ask him why he made decisions he made when he was designing Hyperborea, but it's like I almost don't feel like that's my business, It's like, and as a DM, I definitely would hate to accidentally say, well, I would have done this, because you see that a lot with when people are trying to like make a book or something, and somebody, good naturedly is telling them all the shit they would have done different. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm glad you would have done stuff different, but, I didn't. I'm lucky. The role-playing game I wrote is so underground and hipsterish and unknown that I don't know that anybody's ever told me they would have done something different. Of course, if I redo it, I know one thing I'll do different: the art. And I know a lot of people might be pissed off, but I will use AI art because I suck as an artist. And I drew a lot of the pictures in there by hand, and they are terrible. They are really terrible. Like, when you look at the game and you look at the art, this is a game that was designed by an old dude sitting in his house. Well, I wasn't old back then. That game's 17 or 18 years old, but, who has a deficit of talent and an overabundance of confidence. Basically. But I made the game for the best of reasons, which is that my mom couldn't tell the difference between dice. So I just made a game that only used one die. Oh, don't get me started on GURPS. That game. GURPS is the only game I can think of that I bought. I sat down with the players for hours, and in the end, we all decided we were not going to play that game. It was just like, we sat down to make characters, and it was like, yep, this ain't happening. Which might be sad. I mean, for all I know, GURPS might be the best freaking game ever written. But because of my group having an inability to actually make a character, as the old ancient Shauner Driscoll used to say, peace be upon him, every time I tried to mess around with GURPS, everyone involved would get freaking analysis paralysis. That's what he called it. And he was right. Because, they'd be like, well, do I do this? Do I do that? Should I take this? Should I take that? And of course, as a DM, I'd be like, just do the thing that you want to do. I mean, like actually come up with the player you want to play before you worry about the skills that the player needs. And then it should work out, right? If you know you want to play a big burly warrior type, then you already know now. You're going to want a bunch of weapon skills and you're probably going to want to be strong and blah, 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 right? Oh, no. Oh, no. Shit don't work that easy. So after 3 hours of sitting at the table, holding players' hands, trying to get a character done, which I will tell you right now, we never did. We never got a single character made in 3 hours. I was like, you know what? F this. We'll just go back and play AD&D. And all the players are like, cool. You know what I mean? That is my experience with GURPS. It was just like the worst experience I've ever had with a role-playing game. That game made me want to become violent with my friends. You know, it was just like, and I'm already not, now I'm a very patient, well, okay, I'm a somewhat more patient guy than I used to be. But there was a time when I was just a highly frustrated, highly aggressive kind of guy. And like, so when I would tell my players, hey, we need to make characters, right? Like, I wouldn't be effing around, you know? I expected characters to be made. I ran my group with an iron fist. And yeah, freaking GURPS frustrated me so bad. I was just like, gross fantasy menus. Yeah, I will never forget that. I was sitting in the first house I'd ever bought. It was the early 90s. Someone had convinced me, hey, GURPS, it's like the best. You can play anything nonstop, blah, blah, blah. I bought the deluxe edition book, and we sat there and got nothing done for 3 hours. And I got rid of that book. I was like, I just didn't even want to look at that book. I was like, that book, you know what I mean? I was just so mad. Well, I don't know if mad's the right word, but frustrated is definitely the right word. I was frustrated all to hell. Because I was just like, and I remember it did something to my brain. And what it did was it made me realize that if it's so difficult to make a character in a game that, like, you know, you're actually getting aggravated about it, you probably don't need to play that game. That is what I learned that day. And I've carried that with me ever since. If I sit down to make a character in a game and it takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours to make a character for a game, I don't want to play that game. You know? And people can like it or not. They can say whatever they want about it, but it is what it is. I will go play another game before I will waste my damn time trying to figure out how to play some freaking game that you know, I'm not interested in, really. Or I guess the proper thing to say is if it takes that long to learn how to play a game, I lose interest very quick because it's just like no game should take an hour to make a character for. I don't care what anyone says. If you can't whip a character up in 30 minutes or less, the game is not worth it. Screw that. Like Hyperborea, I can whip up 10 characters in an hour. Now, granted, I have a die roller and form fillable character sheets, but I could sit down with a piece of paper and actual die and whip up a Hyperborean character in probably 15 minutes. You know, it's just not that hard, right? You just roll some stats and then pick whichever kind of character. If you go top to bottom without moving them around, then that's easy. You just pick whatever kind of character class you rolled the stats for the best, right? If you can move them around, then that's good too. Move them however you want them, and then pick the class you want to play based on that. And it's like, yeah. So no big deal. No nothing. Just make it happen. But freaking, you know, I would say the only character creation that might take a long time, but I still like is Traveler. But if you need to speed that up, it's pretty easy. You just tell the players they can't have more than 3 terms, right? 3 terms, that's what you get. Your character is going to begin play at 32, something like that. And unless they roll boxcars and they have to go another term. But yeah, you just say you can't, your character will be done after 3 terms. And boom, next thing you know, you've got a group of somewhat capable, competent 30-year-olds. Pretty much, yes. Yes, I have to say yes to the Hyperborean, the way they do encumbrance is pretty simple, like your movement speed is based on the armor you're wearing, and then if you're carrying X amount of weight, that affects movement speed. So it's really not much different than OSE or any other version of basic D&D or whatever. It's really simple. So yes, if I have a character and they're wearing basically no armor, but they're carrying a shit ton of treasure, then they'll have to reduce their movement speed and stuff. When it comes to like the actual weapons they're using, unless they're carrying like a shit ton of weapons, I generally don't worry about it because there's no need to worry about it. So let's say you've got a character, and I'll name the cleric. The cleric is carrying a shield, a mace, and a footman's flail. I'm not going to worry about the weight of that because with his 14 strength, he can easily carry those things, regardless of any armor he's wearing. And because he's wearing the armor he is wearing, which is like studded or whatever, he's got a movement speed of 30. So that whole situation becomes really easy to figure out. Right? So yeah, it uses a more simplified version, basically, is what I'm saying, which I like. I like the simplified version. I do. I know some people want to count up the coin weight of every single thing that a player's carrying. I don't. I want to just know if they're encumbered or not. And it's kind of like that stupid shit people would try and do with since a needle didn't cause any encumbrance, they want to carry like infinity needles or some shit. And just like, Nah, nah. I mean, I forget which game it is that I was running a while back, but encumbrance in that game was like pretty much based on the number of items you were carrying. Actually, it was like you could carry one thing in each hand, and then depending on if you had a belt pouch, you could carry X amount of stuff in a belt pouch and X amount of stuff in a backpack. And the more stuff you carried, that's what affected encumbrance. So that system, I don't think even worried about weight. It just worried about mass, right? Like, I get that idea too, because if you're carrying a 2 foot cubic block of foam, it don't weigh much, but it's getting in your way. It's effing with you nonstop. You're bumping into everything. So it's encumbering you. And so that's how that one worked. But I don't know, was that Warhammer? Because a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I think I ran the full Enemy Within campaign. So that could have been Warhammer. I'm not sure though. Like I said, I've ran so many games that I'm like, but yeah, I to reassert, yes, I care about encumbrance, but I guess not so much that I'm going to make the players count every damn coin they're carrying on. You know, as long as it seems somewhat reasonable to me, then I'm just going to let it ride. But if it seems very unreasonable, then I am a stickler. Is pretty much it. Yeah. So maybe I'm not a stickler, but I'm kind of a stickler. I don't know. No. I'm kind of a stickler because I know I've had to tell some of the players when they're like, I'm going to pick up this sack with 1,000 silver coins in it. And I've been like, well, you are having a hard time moving with that. Good luck with that shit. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because that's like 100 pounds you're carrying. You know, that's like that sack is 100-pound sack, and you don't have a great strength. So, I'm not going to tell you can't pick up the sack and try to tote it around with you, but it's going to slow you down. And you're going to have to drop it if you want to fight, because there's no way you're going to be able to effectively fight while you're trying to carry, a big ass sack that weighs, 100 pounds. There's Hungar. I've been wondering. He's probably been sleeping all day, or he went to church earlier and he's recovering from that. I knew there was a reason I decided to stay on just a little longer, though. Because I was sitting here and I was like, well, it's been about that time, but I think I'll stay on just a little longer, though, and see if my brother shows up. And there he is. So I don't know if I gave you a good answer at all, Armin. Honestly, I feel like I said yes, I'm a stickler, and then I went over a whole list of things that I'm not really a stickler about. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, I'm a hardcore stickler, but then I don't really worry about. No, I use a simplified version of encumbrance. That's all.
Hey, there's the king of random encounters.
I didn't roll that random encounter.
You ain't got to roll it to make one happen every 3.5 minutes.
Dude, it's the only random encounter that actually happened last night. Shut up.
Yeah, your players can't duck down and whisper to plan stuff without a random encounter.
That wasn't a random encounter. Those orcs were scouting.
I
They
could give
knew you
you
were in the area. They're not idiots.
see what you get when you like to stir poop.
Oh, okay. Is that what you're doing? Just poop stirring?
Yeah,
You just being a poop stir for no good
yep.
reason?
I got my
Well,
magic weapon
did you?
last night.
Oh, dude. After we hung up, they decided that actually I'm
They can
lying.
actually fuck right
I'm
off.
lying. I'm lying. Calm down. Lying.
I see Iron Man is in the chat, and I haven't seen that fool in forever.
Well, I assume he's been busy.
Yeah,
A lot of people that I used to see in the chat haven't been around. I don't know. I must have said something to piss a lot of people off.
Skillet sent
Huh.
me a meme of on a mammoth last night.
Oh, you went back to your mammoth?
Yeah, he's got me on a mammoth. He sent me 2 pictures of it.
Oh, did you see the picture of I sent it to you, I think.
Yeah, I put it into a group chat.
Yeah, it's me and my Pomeranian, but the Pomeranian looks like a freaking dire wolf.
Yeah, and I'm hanging out with my Santa Claus hat on a mammoth.
That's pretty cool. I got to admit, pretty cool stuff.
I've been doing good, Iron Man. Just hanging in there. I gotta get up at the butt crack of dawn tomorrow morning.
Why?
Go taking the cat in to get his balls cut off.
How's the cat feel about that?
He doesn't know what's going on right now. He's just curled up on my bed, sleeping.
Yeah, he's gonna hate you tomorrow, boy.
Now, because I'm gonna make young Master Gregory put him in a crate and carry him into the place.
So he'll just hate your stepson then. How you doing, Steven?
Hey, Steve. Hi, everybody else who's in here.
Yeah, I told him you guys got in a fight with like 60 orcs. There was a lot of damaging being done.
I don't know about the blue light with computer screens. It never affected me.
The what?
Blue light with computer screen.
I think when you get a blue light in your computer screen, that might be bad.
No, there's this thing going around. It was going around for a while where you can buy glasses to block out the blue lights. The blue light that
Oh, yeah, yeah, because the blue light from looking at screens too much can F your eyes up. That's a fact.
it's never bothered me, but I've been wearing glasses longer than I've actually been on my computer a lot.
It affected me. I never needed to have reading glasses until I was 40 something. And I know for a fact at what age it was spending 12 hours a day playing Dark Age of Camelot for like 8 fucking years.
Yeah, but what about back in the day when everybody needed reading glasses and there wasn't computers?
Dude, there was like 2 people in my whole class that needed glasses. Now everybody's got glasses. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can dig it. Can you dig it?
Can you dig it, man?
So you went to Ruby Rod and I went to I was doing Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah,
Come
but
out,
it's about the same thing.
come out to play. Yay.
See, I went to I don't want no one beating up the dance floor but us. Can you dig it?
The Warriors is better because it had Joe Wash doing the ending song in the city.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is kind of good because it's got Tupac and Dr. Dre.
Yeah. Hey, did you figure out who the Buffetts were who were on the balcony? The old crusty bastards that remind me of us.
It's Waldorf and damn, I forgot about it until you just mentioned it, asshole.
Yeah, well, they remind me of us.
The two Muppets. What are their freaking names? It's time to start music. It's time to start the show. Like Franklin and Waldorf or something like that. I don't know.
Stratler,
Ah, Statler. That makes sense. Statler
Statler
and
and
Waldorf.
Waldorf.
Yeah. Because you kept wanting to say Astoria last night. I'm like, it's not Waldorf and Astoria.
It'd be cool if it was.
But yeah, I personally though, getting back to what you asked, Arnman, I personally 100% do believe that the blue light coming out of screens is effing with people.
I personally do believe that you ain't always gotta be a bitch.
Now, my brother believes what he believes. What I would tell you is one of us has had a foot cut off or a toe, and one of us hasn't. So
I cut that toe off when I was 6, and there wasn't even personal computers around.
So if you want to take like health advantage from a dude that had to have his toe cut off because of diabetes,
It wasn't because of diabetes. The doctor said so. It was a staph infection. Yeah.
caused by diabetes,
It wasn't caused by diabetes. There was a splinter in it.
dude, you can keep making up all the excuses you
I
want.
just, if the doctor tells you it's not an excuse,
I don't believe.
I survived more medical issues than you ever will. So I'm the expert medical guy.
You are the cockroach because nothing will fucking kill you.
And you're super happy about that.
That's a fact. I am.
What are you building?
I'm working on blimmies.
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? But you are gay.
They've got a new sticker for your credit card, debit card. And it looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it's that dude, and it says, "Why are you gay?"
Yeah.
Yeah, Iron Man, it could be because you spend a lot of time on your computer. Now, I do know that if you're hanging out on your computer or on your phone, like scrolling Instagram, you're doom scrolling instead of sleeping, and that will mess up your sleep because you're up doom scrolling.
Not only that, but dude, you know, if you spend a lot of time on your phone and you hold it next to your head, it's been known to cause brain tumors.
Man,
I mean, your phone is literally jetting radiation through the atmosphere.
Oh, speaking of that, I just sent you a reel on. I sent you a reel on Instagram a few minutes ago. I think you'll like.
I watch Instagram on the computer.
I still sent you a reel on it that I
Okay.
think you will like. I don't care if you watch it on your freaking refrigerator.
Dude.
You having leftover meatloaf sandwiches for dinner tonight, or did all the meatloaf get it?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just going to have some pizza.
Restless sleeping nights. I bet you it is.
Yeah.
You know, another good idea, bad idea. Another good idea is just to make sure you get about 15 minutes of good sunlight. A lot of people don't understand that sunlight helps with your melatonin, and that actually will help with your sleep.
I was reading something the other night that said if you're awake in the middle of the night, it's because you're not sleeping.
Thank you for you know your help is appreciated.
I'm doing my best, man.
I know. I deal with the same stuff on occasion, Iron Man, where I will like I'll go to bed at 9 and sleep and be up at 7 the next day. And I'll do that for a couple of days. And then the next thing I know, I go to bed and I lay in bed all night. And then I sleep all day.
And he'll sit there and send me messages at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I will do that. That he's not lying. I will do that. And then so my sleep schedule is all over the damn place.
Yeah,
It
it's
has
crazy.
no idea where it wants to be.
Sometimes you go to bed at a reasonable hour, wake up early. Some days you go to bed at 6 in the morning and sleep all day.
And I've often wondered if
Is
it had something to do with the blue light.
Is it days that you spend a lot of time on the computer?
I don't know. I'll have to like take notes, write it down.
Yeah.
It's especially weird for me since I'm on like a very, very powerful sleep pill sedative that I'm supposed to take before bedtime. It's actually designed to make me not be able to have dreams. So you would think as soon as I climbed into bed and took my little blue pill, I'd be out, right? Not that little blue pill. But nope. Sometimes I just sit and stare at the wall and think. And during those times, I find funny memes and I send them to my brother who's trying to sleep.
I like when you send me memes.
Which is funny, And then I'll send him a meme and then he'll thumbs up it and send back and be like, go to sleep, noob. And I'll be like, no.
That's a true story.
I'm never sleeping again.
It seems like that sometimes too. A lot of true stories going on.
Yep. And then about 4 o'clock will roll around and I'll finally fall asleep. And that's about when the wife wakes up.
Yeah. His wife is a mutant and I love her. She was like one of my favorite people on the planet, but she pisses me off every day. Because this woman, it don't matter. She lays down as soon as her head hits that pillow. Less than a minute later, she's asleep, out like a light.
Yeah, she can sleep through anything, and it doesn't take her any time to fall asleep.
She doesn't lay there and toss and turn or anything. She's like, well, I'm going to bed. Good night. And she lays down.
Boom. Out. And that's the worst for me when I'm like sitting in there and I'm trying to sleep and she's sitting next to me just freaking stone cold out.
Yeah. See, I'm like that, Iron Man. I've been eating better. What I do for my when I was a semi truck driver, I drove refrigerated trailers, and they make noise, and I got used to the background noise when I was sleeping. So I play an audiobook at night, and that helps me out. So, like the low noise. The low noise is something that really helps a lot of people sleep.
I'm that way, but with fans.
Oh, yeah, I gotta have a fan on.
And I think it's because fans generate like white noise. And the whole time I was in the fire department, we always had fans in the room, in the bunk room. So it was always like, you go in there and you'd hear the fans doing their and it put you to sleep, at least until tones went off. So, yeah.
I got to get up and go to Walmart.
When?
Here in a few minutes.
Well, if you're going to leave me, I'm going to just end the stream now.
I got to go get a cat carrier.
Angrily.
To take Russell in to get
with bang.
But good game last night.
Do you think so?
Yes, that's why I said good game. I'm not going to tell you it was good if I thought it wasn't. I tell you when I think the game sucked.
Hey, I think I'm still the only human being alive that has the Shonner seal of approval.
Yeah. And I'm one of the people who has that Hungar. He's a good role player.
Yeah, you and I, we've got the Shonner seal of approval when it comes to DMing and role playing. All because of a Conan game. Did you get that message I sent you that had like warrior?
Yeah, I picked Survivor.
All right, pass it along to the game group.
What's that for? Because we're not changing games.
No, we're not changing games. But in the new in the version of Call of Cthulhu I have, how you make a character is you pick like an archetype, and that determines which skills you can raise easier and also what knacks you can get. So,
I
like,
thought,
if you pick the guy that would be like the World War II veteran, then your character is going to be a lot better with like guns and shit
I
like
thought
that.
I thought I was dead last night for a minute. I was sweating.
Yeah. You could have been, honestly, if I'd wanted to be a real. No, he missed, so never mind. I was going to say the orc with the two-hander there, right? He could have kung fu chopped your ass and put you right straight to hell. But now that I think about it, he did try and he missed. So
Yeah. But I was very heroic.
he rolled a 3. So yeah, I did that, guys. I did that. In case you're wondering, one orc ran up to the cleric and put him to -7, and the second orc that ran up tried to kill his ass while he was on the ground. Now, I
But
know a lot of books and stories and shit will tell you shouldn't do that, but I did it.
it was heroic too. I was a badass at that point.
Oh, you'd have been fine, but you sucked up all the damage from the witch.
Because she's important and the only person that I like in the party.
That's not necessarily true.
What? That she's important?
No, the only person you like.
Yeah, it is. Because she's a Hyperborean.
Yeah, but I was just remembering there were a couple of times when you and the Berserker were
Oh, the Berserker
like
is cool.
on respectable terms. I remember one time when you were trying to talk the Berserker into leaving the rest of the party behind.
The Berserker
Just
is
going out
cool.
on your own. Being like,
The,
fuck these
the
guys.
Berserker is cool. And you know what? I respect quite a few of the people in the party. Do I like them? No. Will I work with them? Yes.
Who other than Berserker, because I know you're going to say Berserker, do you respect the most out of the rest of them?
The Berserker, the Greek, the
Okay.
Atlanteans, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, other than the Berserker, who would you want to work with if you could only pick one of them to work with and the Berserker
The
can't
Greek.
be one? The Greek?
Yep.
All right. Any reason or just you like Greek?
Because I like the Greek because he's like, you know what? We're going to fight and then we're going to drink.
That makes sense. He is pretty Conan, ain't he?
He is. He's like, we're going to fight. We're going to drink. We're going to
Maybe
eat.
get some hookers.
Get some hookers. Fight some more.
That's like
Get
the
some,
first thing he said when you guys went back to the safe area last
he's
time.
like, I'm looking for a bath and a blowjob, and it don't got to be in that order.
It's like, damn, these Greeks. Well, they are lusty people, I guess.
And he knows what he wants in life. He wants to adventure. He's down for it. Like everybody be
Well,
like,
yeah,
"So
that's
you
why
do this?"
that's why he left. The new Sparta.
He's like, people are like, I don't think we should go in there. And the Greek's like, let's do this.
He's like Leroy Jenkins
Exactly. Now
because he is always down to kick a door open.
he
He
has,
does not give any shits about it. He's like,
and that
well,
is
then
very,
again, he's a Spartan warrior, so
and that is respectable. I dig that because
Yeah.
I'm an adventurer. If I wanted a safe life, I would be working in a church.
That's true. You'd be working in the big temple in Comorium, right?
Exactly. But I'm not. I'm out adventuring because I crave adventure. The reason that I don't say that I like the other players is because they're not Hyperboreans. If they were Hyperboreans, if we were all a group of Hyperboreans, I'd love everybody. I'd rush up and like take wounds from some from them and protect them from boss orcs. But they're not Hyperboreans. But the witch, she is. So she's
Yeah.
important to me because I'm a racist in the game
Right. Yeah.
mostly.
Did you see that meme that Cold Iron made of me running a game at a tournament?
Yes.
You had all the purple haired girls sitting at the table, and they're like, I hope he respects our boundaries and blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing you just see me standing there with the Hyperborean book, some
A
other book,
Bible.
and the Bible. And I'm like, are you ready, ladies? And they're just like, oh, shit.
I hope he respects our boundaries. I hope he respects our pronouns. I hope he's not into religion.
Yeah. And it's just me freaking standing there like, and I'm like, are you ready, ladies? And they're all looking scared, like, oh, shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be that way, ladies. We're playing some Hyperborea. But
But yeah, while I was
I
laying on
used
the
to
ground.
do Friday Night Adventure League at Costume Comics, and I've
Yep.
had tables that were very similar to that. But I'm good enough that I can turn my own personal bullshit off and just run the game. You know what I mean? I don't have
Let's
to like the players at the table necessarily to run the game.
let's
And
not. While I was bleeding out, I was going through my PHP, looking at classes. I was like, oh shit! Somebody gonna be making a new character here in a little bit.
yeah, well, it came close to it, didn't it?
Yep.
But it didn't. So,
I thought the scout was gonna bite it too.
oh, well, let me tell you something. Had that ballista hit him,
He would have turned into a red mist.
it would have pinned his ass to a building like down the way from where you guys are. You would have looked back and just saw the scout's body literally pinned to a building on the second floor. Just because, yeah, it turns out ballistas do a shit ton of damage. So on the average, there's just no way he could have survived that. You know, it would have just been well, sorry about your luck, but you're dead. You know, so not the smartest idea in my opinion. You know, I'm
No
going to climb up on the roof and stand there and see what's up here. And like
arrows. Arrows are up
every
there.
every orc within a mile's just like, look at this bastard. Like, yeah, gotcha, buddy, gotcha, and they got him.
Yeah. He's like, I wonder what's gonna happen if I climb up on this building. You're gonna get shot a lot with arrows.
And he was,
Crossbow bolts, arrows, a ballista's gonna be shot at you.
yeah, the orcs had even a ballista set up, ready to go.
The barbarian's like, can I keep that ballista?
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you get like 3 people to help you carry it around, yeah, sure. You know, I mean, it'll take you a couple of minutes to set it up and actually get it going, but sure, it needs a crew of like 3. That would have been like crazy, you know.
It'd been
Like,
awesome if she had henchmen.
that's what I'm going to say. If she goes back to town and hires henchmen specifically just to help her pull that fucking scorpion around.
She got like 4 people pulling ballista behind her. Every time we get ready for combat, she tells them to stop and set it up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going
Well,
to make
she would
my.
have to actually hire specialists. She'd have to actually hire like artillerists. You know what
It'd
I
be
mean?
like, before we let them know we're here, I set up my ballista and sneak attack.
Yeah. Yeah. Just fire the ballista into them. They don't even know it's coming, right?
I hope those new glasses work out for you, Iron Man.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a true story. But then again, I also take like milk thistle and drink that freaking cocoa that's supposed to make your stem cells get all crazy too. So it's possible that I'm just a nut for anything that promises to do something for me for fitness. I will say this. Look at this, Haas.
How'd you do that?
No, I'm saying, you remember what it looked like?
Yeah.
Bleeding and nasty with no skin?
Yeah. How'd you do that? How'd you get it not nastified?
Just drinking that freaking, I don't know. It's like I have no evidence that drinking the cocoa stem cell bullshit worked, except a big wound on me is completely healed in like a week.
Yeah.
So it's like, did it work or didn't it work? I don't know. But I do know that I had a big bleeding wound and now I don't. It's completely healed. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean,
You know what? Until proven otherwise,
that's kind
the
of where I
evidence.
am with it. I'm like, maybe it was that I was drinking all that freaking. Well, I only drink it in the morning. I mix it with coffee. But if it actually works the way they say and it unleashes stem cells and they just run around your body fixing shit, then there is a certain amount of logic to it, you know?
Hey, it's like they said on Boondocks. The absence of evidence does not mean that there's evidence of absence.
Right.
So until proven wrong, I'm going to say that stuff works.
Yeah, see, Shadow and I were both taking it, and I think he said he since he couldn't tell anything, he was going to stop taking it. And I was like, well, but how do you tell? That's kind of the problem, you know? It's like if it's am I getting bleeding once a month? Calm down, you. Um, if it's like you're talking about something that supposedly unleashes stem cells into your body. Well, how do you even tell? Right? How can you know? And I'm just saying, I tripped down a mountain, effed myself up pretty good, tore all the skin right the hell off of my arm, and it was a nasty, bloody freaking mess. And a week later, it is completely 100% healed as if it had never even happened. So I
I
can't
might have
prove
to
it.
look that stuff up.
Yeah, it tastes like shit, but if you mix it in with a cup of hot coffee, it's okay. But yeah, if you think it's like hot cocoa like you used to get, you know, on Christmas, no. It's bitter. There's no sugar in it. It's just bleh. But supposedly it has your body, you know, like
I just mix it with a glass of milk and drink it down. I don't worry about it. I'm drinking
well, the
so
reason I
much.
mix it with the hot coffee is because the hot coffee actually melts the cocoa
That makes sense.
and makes it like mix in with the liquid. Whereas the anything else, that shit will be like chunky and
Yeah.
floating around, and then you get a chunk of it in your mouth, and you're just
It'll
like,
be
oh,
like old school Nestle Quick.
yeah, you're just like, well, this sucks.
All right,
So,
well, brother, I'm going to head up to Walmart, get a
well,
cat
you
carrier.
you head up to Walmart.
I love you. Always have.
Always have, always will.
Everybody in the chat, good to see y'all. Iron Man, I hope your eyes start feeling better and your brain fuzz goes away.
We can start singing that song. Everybody in the chat getting tipsy. Everybody- Remember that song? One,
Yeah.
here comes the, to the three, to the four. Right?
Yep.
That's
All right, brother.
kind of an old song now, isn't it?
Tell everybody down there I says hi.
I will. I talked to your nephew the other day, by the way.
How's he doing?
Well, he's married.
He already got married?
J man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he actually have a ceremony or did he just go get married like a smart person?
Don't know. But yeah, he is married. That lady is his wife. And he sent me a text on Instagram and was like, "Hey, Uncle, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing the same shit I always do. What are you doing?" You know, because it's like, come on, man. You live a mile away. Drive over. Introduce your wife. I know that my wife will love your wife. So come on, you know? Let's pretend like we're a family. But I'll tell you what, these assholes down here, they act like they don't like anybody, don't they?
Yeah. And driving in that traffic sucks.
Dude, he lives a mile away.
Yeah. A mile away
Literally.
on one of the busiest streets in the town.
No. You know where he lives, right? Like a
Yeah.
block from where we used to live on Connecticut.
Yeah, I know.
All he's got to do is cruise down to Canoe Creek and then cruise on down, man.
See, I'm used to the traffic here in little 5,000 population Tennessee town.
Yeah.
My little white bread mountain town.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I liked your town, and the wife and I have basically decided when we move up north, we're probably not going to move to Kentucky. We're probably going to move to Tennessee.
No state tax? Yeah.
Yeah. Cheaper too.
Yep.
But you know, and I know you know this, so I'm going to feel stupid even asking because I know you know. Evil Dead 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Did you know they were filmed in Tennessee near Middleborough?
Yeah.
We're looking for houses near there.
Nice. I recommend near
But
where
you
I'm at.
can't go visit the thing anymore because movie legend is that what's his name? Raimi, was it? Burn it to the ground because they had to actually stay in it and there was no heating and no like running water and shit like that. So after they got done with the filming, he burned it to the freaking ground.
I recommend near where I'm at. You got everything you need, plus Knoxville's 30 minutes away.
But you're too far from Mom.
Really? I'm only like 2 hours.
If we move to Middleborough, we will literally be
Right on the border.
20 minutes away.
Yeah.
We'll go up 65 to Williamsburg and just cut right across.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're too far away. So, that's the plan, though. We'll see.
Well, I love you.
I love you, too. And everyone else who hung out, Iron Man, it was great talking to you. I hope those glasses work. The rest of you that just hung out, thank you. It's been a good time. I got a lot done. I'm feeling very accomplished today. I got a lot of homemade belts put around these naked ass blimmies.
I just left them naked.
Butt just hanging out, don't he? Like I should leave one of them without like the front armor on, and just freaking like sculpt giant wang.
And put back armor on him because he's just retarded. Too stupid to wear the loincloth right.
Yeah, put that dude on the table and the players just be like, what the? He's just dragging up. That wouldn't be cool, but it'd be funny.
That would be hilarious.
This is my boomstick. Yeah. This beauty was made in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Walnut barrel, Blue Steel.
Still
Set you back
hair,
$129.99.
hair trigger.
Hair trigger. I love that. So anyway.
Later, everybody.